Come to terms quickly with your adversaries. Respect your neighbor's opinion. Avoid disagreeable disputes. Lending without expecting restitution. Give your assistance in good works happily. Do not worry about slanderers. Thank your enemy for the value he ascribes to you. Help children. Do not abandon the old and the sick. Where benefits are concerned, think of yourself last. Apologize sincerely. Criticize no one. Straighten out your own defects before correcting those of others. Use faith and good judgment. Learn to sow that you may reap a good harvest. Do not expect grapes from the thorn bush. Free yourself from the weight of excessive conventionalism. Cultivate simplicity. Talk as little as possible about yourself and your problems. Stimulate the noble qualities of your companions. Work for the good of all. Value time. Organize your work knowing that each day has its obligations. Do not be anxious. Serve everyone with detachment. Be happy, just, and grateful. Never impose your point of view. Remember that the world was not made only for you. Social sciences of today present these principles as being new. However, they are ancient, having come to earth with Christ almost 20 centuries ago. But we, who are slow to comprehend, are even slower in applying them.
Let's close our eyes and thank God for this moment. Dear God, we praise you. We thank you for the opportunity to be here this night after this blessed and new day. We also want to thank Jesus. Let's imagine Jesus coming and staying with us in this room tonight. We thank God, we thank Jesus for his love and his message. We want to thank the good spirits that prepared this house for this special moment. Let's ask Jesus and the good spirits to inspire our dear friend Mirtes, so that she can help us to understand better the message that the Spiritism brings to us tonight. Let's remember our brothers and sisters who couldn't be here tonight, so they can also feel and receive all the good energies that are created here at this moment. Dear Jesus, be with us tonight. So be.
Okay, so the message that Yolanda read for us is the Redeeming Principles, and it's from the book Christian Agenda from Chic Xavier, and the message is from André Luiz. And it's nothing. Oh. So our agenda tonight is we're gonna see the definition of the word redeem. We're gonna talk about God, and we're gonna talk about the attributes of God. I'm going to tell you a story about a boy who did not believe in God. I'm going to tell a poem about God and a man. And we're going to talk about parts of the message. So, what happened here? Sorry. And I cannot read. Okay, so I'm going to try to read here the definition of the word. I'm sorry. So the definition of redeem is to free from, I cannot read, let's see if I have here.
Stress or harm.
I might have here. I just put it on the, so redeem. Redeem means to free ourselves from our faults. It's not exactly what it says here, but I can't read. Such as release from blame or debt, from the consequence of sin, to change for better, to reform ourselves, to restore, and to basically to become a better person. So the message, redeem principles, it's pretty clear, right? So those are the principles. The things that André Luiz recommended to us in this message is the principles for us to become a better person, to redeem ourselves, right? And André Luiz starts saying the first thing that he says is, do not forget that God is the central theme of our destinies. And for us to understand, that, we need to talk about God. And so the first question that comes to our mind is, who or what is God? And for that, we go to the Spiritist book. And it's the question number one. Question number one, right? What is God? Kardec asked the spirits, and they answer, God is the supreme intelligence, first cause of all things. So Kardec didn't ask who is God, right? It's what is God? So from that question, we notice that Kardec did not personalize God, right? So it's already something for us to think about it. A lot of people think, who is God, right? And the right question is, what is God? So God is the first cause of all things. It's the supreme intelligence. And Kardec lists 6 attributes about God. And he says, God is eternal. So what is eternal? Something that has no beginning and no end. Who understands here what's eternal? Raise your hand. I have no clue. Just to think about something that has no beginning and no end for for me, it's something I cannot even comprehend that. But, that's what God is. God is unchangeable. If he were subject to change, the law which rules the universe would have no stability. So everything in the universe works so perfect. Everything is put it in a way that there's a balance, there's, stability. So if God would change his creation, his intelligence would change, and it would not have stability in the world. God is immaterial. That is to say that his nature differs from everything that we call matter, or otherwise, he would be subject to transformation of the matter. We know that every matter transforms, right? If God it says here that if God was a matter, it would be subject to change, like us, right? We are born so cute and so tiny, and then we grow, and then we start getting our wrinkles. So that's the transformation, right? So God is unique. If there were several gods, there would be neither unity of plan nor unity of power in the ordinary of the universe. So we know there's only one God. God is all powerful because he's unique. If there were more than one God, he would not be unique, and he would not be it would have something else besides God, right? Then he would not be unique. God is sovereign, just and good. The providential wisdom of the divine laws is revealed as clearly in the smallest things as in the greatest, and the wisdom renders it possible to doubt either his justice or his goodness. So God is all good. God is justice and sovereign. So that means power, right? Soberano, above all things, right? So it says that giving all the above, all those attributes to God, we really still don't understand. We don't understand what God. So Kardec was not satisfied, and he goes and he asked the spirits, can man comprehend the essential nature of God? And the spirit says, no. Why? He lacks the sense required for comprehending it. We lack the sense of that requires to comprehend God. We can't comprehend God. So it makes really difficult for us to, especially, I don't know who here has a teenager, and when they get to that phase that they come and say, oh, how do you prove that God exists? Or, those questions. It's very hard to talk about it, right? Because who believes in God, they feel it. But we cannot explain. So Kardec continue asking, so will man ever become able to comprehend the mystery of the divinity? Divinity. And the Spirit says, when his mind shall no longer be obscured by matter, and when by his perfection he shall have brought himself near to God, he will see and comprehend him. So how far are we from that? We don't know. But we know that, in the universe, there are many, many planets, right? And we know that our planet is not one of the most evolved planet, right? So we still have a lot to go, but we are evolving and we are growing, and this gives us hope. This question, this answer, shows us that one day we will comprehend God. One day we will understand God. So not yet. We can't. We cannot. So how do we do it? When Angelis starts giving the principles for us to redeem ourselves, do not forget that God is the central theme of our destinies. How can we understand that? How can we go from here, right? So in the Spirit's book says, to believe in God, you just have to look at his creation. The universe exists. Therefore, it has a cause. In science, there's, every cause, every effect has a cause, right? So if there's a cause, means there was an effect. So if the world exists, something created the world, right? So this is the story of a boy who did not believe in God. And he was in a classroom talking to another boy, and they were arguing about God. And the teacher was watching them arguing about that, and he didn't know how to explain to them, how to talk to them about God. So he decided to demonstrate. So he put 2 glasses of water and asked the boy that did not believe in God, said, can you drink from, how does this look? What do you see? And he goes, I see 2 glasses of water. And he said, are they the same? He said, yes, both glasses are the same, both glasses have water. And he said, okay, so can you drink from this cup? And the boy drank. And then he said, now can you drink from this other cup? And he drank. And he said, are they the same? And the boy said, no. He said, what is the difference? One is sweet and one is not. One is pure water and the other one has sugar in it. So his teacher said, that's how, this is just like God. We can't see. We can't see God, but we can feel it. We can feel God. We can tell the difference from what's created by man and what's created by God. And it's very interesting because by coincidence, yesterday the class for the youth for the kids was about God. And so we were talking exactly about this, and we did this experience with them, which was very interesting. And it's, I lost my thought. But so the kids, they ask questions, right? And we did an experiment with them. So we gave clay we divide the kids in two groups. We gave Play-Doh for them, and one group was supposed to make something that was created, that God made, that was created by God. And the other group was supposed to make something that was created by man, right? But then there was one girl that, so these kids, the group that made things that was created by God, they made the clouds and the grass and, the ocean. And the other kids, the other group, one made a robot, the other one made a snowman, and there was this girl, and with the Play-Doh, she made a bowl of soup. She put next to the soup, she made a zucchini, and then there was a little thing. And then I said, "What is that?" She goes, "Oh, this is a bowl of soup." And I said, "Oh, yes, and it's a zucchini soup. And this is the seed of the zucchini." So she said, the soup was made of the zucchini that was planted by the man, but the seed was made by God. So I thought it was really cool. So anyway, that's what the teacher told the boy, That's what happened. We to understand God in our way, in our capacity, that's how we do it. We just feel it. And there's, I heard this poem and I thought it was very, very pretty. And there was a man and he whispered, "God, talk to me." And a bird began to sing, but the man did not hear. So the man said, "God, talk to me." And then a thunder echoed in the sky, but the man did not understood. So the man looked around and said, "God, let me see you." And a shining star appeared in the sky, but the man did not notice. And the man said, "God, show me a miracle." And a child was born. But the man did not feel the pulse of life. So the man, in desperation, cried, "Touch me, God. Let me know you're here with me." But the man frightened the butterfly that had landed on his shoulder. And disappointed, he followed his sad path alone and in fear without realizing the presence of God. And unfortunately, I don't know who this poem is from, but I heard Dona Terezinha de Oliveira, which was this lady that used to give, she passed away, beautiful, beautiful lectures in Spirit Center in Brazil, in Campinas. And when I heard that poem, I thought it was so beautiful. And I thought it was like, yes, this is, God has so many ways to show his presence, but we refuse to see, to feel, to notice his presence. He's around us. He's around us all the time. So in her lecture, one of her lectures, the Mirtes Frediani said that we can know God by reason or by feeling. So God makes himself seen by his work of creation. But we can feel God too when we tune into the vibration of his infinite love in the universal life. So we, by looking around and seeing everything that, nature, his creation, we can feel him. We can feel, we have, a little bit of him inside of us. So it's in here. And he's so good. God is so justice that he said, I know that you cannot understand me yet. But guess what? I'm going to send someone to earth to teach you, to guide you, to give you light. And he sent Jesus to us. Jesus, our master, that, taught all these principles that Andrea Luiz tell us in this message, is a reminder of what Jesus already taught us. And, it's interesting at the end, right, what it says. Social science of today presents these principles as being new. However, they are ancient, having come to earth with Christ almost 3rd century ago. But we who are slow to comprehend are even slower to apply them. So, so we're going to go over a few parts of the message that Andrea Luiz tells us here. And he says, desire the well-being of others as much as you desire for yourself. So where do we find that? In Matthew 7:12, do to others what you would do to others, whatever you would like them to do to you. This is the essence of all that is taught in the law and the prophets, right? So every single thing that Andrea Luiz said here, we find exactly what Jesus already brought it to us. And we also find that in the Gospel according to the Spiritist, chapter 11, that talks about love your neighbors as yourself. So a few more phrase that Andrea Luiz says, come to terms quickly with your adversaries. Respect your neighbor's opinion. Avoid disagreeable disputes. And where do we find that? Matthew 5:25. Settle matters quickly with your adversary, who is talking to you, who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still together on the way, or your adversary might hand you over to the judge, and the judge might hand you over to the officer, and you might be thrown into prison. So, and again, we find this at the Gospel according to the Spiritism, chapter 10, blessed are the merciful. So, in the Gospel, what we learn about that, if we go there, one of the things is, why should we, what does it say? Why should we come in terms quickly with our adversary? What adversaries while we still here? Why is that?
As long as we don't harbor resentments and ill will and anger and things that are not helpful for us and not helpful for the other person, and the longer that goes on, the more that spiral control. Better to make peace, show love.
That's right. That's right. You know, sometimes we lose the opportunity to make peace with someone, and when, you know, like especially when it's in the family, you know, there I know someone that it's very hurt, and because his father passed away and he didn't have the opportunity to, you know, make peace with his father. So why is he hurt? Because he feels guilty, right? So it's like Catherine said, you know, there are studies that prove that cancer can be cured with the therapy of forgiveness. And what is, you know, forgiveness? Is exactly what it says here. It's, you know, coming terms with the people that we don't get along. It's
This is part of the formal use that you mentioned that that person didn't have an opportunity and just saw that we can create that through there.
That's right. But when maybe I need, you know, maybe I didn't say it correct way. What I meant is didn't have the opportunity or didn't have, you know, didn't make the time to do it. That's better. That's what you're saying, right? And that's right. So we can make the time. We can, you know, put our pride aside. Why we don't do it? We don't do it because of our pride. Because we feel that if we are the ones to take the initiative to try to solve the situation, we are putting ourselves down, and it's the opposite, right? So we should try to do our best to overcome, you know, the difference with our friends, enemies, you know. And the other thing is, this doesn't end when someone passes away. It doesn't end, right? So it makes hard because it's something that you will have to work it out in another life, right? So Angelis says, lending without expecting restitution. Give your assistance in good work. Give your assistance in good works happily. Do not worry about slanders. And we find that at Luke 6:34. If you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? So, even sinners lend to sinners in order to receive back the same amount. But love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High. For he himself is the king to ungrateful and evil men. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful to you. And this also we find at the Gospel according to the Spiritist, chapter 11, love your neighbor as yourself. So what it's saying here, what we hear most of the time, when we do good, we should do it from the heart. We should do it without expecting anything in return, right? When we do something and then, later on, we need something from that person that we helped, and we go, oh, I helped that person, and now that I need, this person is refusing to help me. It would be nice if that person helped, but if that person doesn't help for whatever reason, because the person doesn't want it, because the person can't, it doesn't matter. We should not judge that person. We should accept, and we should not throw in their face, like, oh, I did it to you once. I expect you to do it for me now. A lot of people say, oh, one hand washes the other. What is that? Is that when we say that, are we expecting something in return? We do it because we might need it in the future. And if I do it, if I help now, I might get it, Usually, when we do good, the good returns to us. But that's not the reason we should do it. We should do it because it should come from the heart, and because we're supposed to help our neighbors. We're supposed to be good for the good sake, right? So again, it says, social science of today presents the principles of being new. However, this was something that Christ brought it to us long time ago. And we just are too slow to put it in practice. But this message that Angelis brought it to us, it's not something new. It's a reminder of Jesus taught us. And, sometimes we might think, oh, every time I go to the center, I hear the same thing. Why do we hear over and over again? If we didn't need it, we wouldn't listen. We wouldn't hear anymore, right? It's the same thing when we ask our son to do something. And, we have to ask and ask and ask until we do it. When he does, we don't have to ask again, right? So, so it says, if you love me, Jesus is saying this, if you love me, keep my commands, and I will ask the Father, and he will give you another counselor to help you and be with you forever. The Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him. But you know him, for he lives with you and will be in you. The Counselor, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you. So Jesus came and he taught us, he showed us how to do it, right? He just didn't come and say, oh, this is how you become a better person. No, he showed us with his actings, his behavior, right? But like it said here, we are still too slow to apply that in our lives. So Jesus, who is also our master, our teacher, he intervened for us with God. And he said, you know what, God, they're too slow. They didn't grasp my message. They didn't pay attention to the things that I showed them. We need to do something. So he says here, that he would ask God to send us something to remind us all the time his teachings. And what is that? It's the Spiritist, right? That's the teachings from the spirits, that it's reminding us how to do what Jesus did, right? And in the Spiritist book, the question 918, it says, the elevation of the Spirit is proved by the conformity of all the acts of his corporeal life with the law of God, and by his comprehension of spiritual life. In comments of this answer, the codifier highlighted, the truly virtuous man is he who practiced the law of justice, love, and charity in its greatest purity. If he interrogates his conscience concerning the acts accomplished by him, he will ask himself whether he has done nothing wrong, whether he has done all the good in his power, whether no one has cause to complain of him, and whether he has done to others all that he would wish others to do to him. So what it's saying here, that this is a recipe for us to see if we are in the right path, if we are following what Andrea Luis asked us to do here. And what is that? Is for us to question our conscience and make those questions, interrogate our conscience and ask if I have done everything in my power to, if everything that I did during my day was in, what is the word? If everything I did was the right thing to do, So when we go to bed at night, we should question our conscience and say, how was my day today? Did I use all the opportunities I had to do good? Is there anyone that has a complaint about my actions? Did I do all in my power to help everyone that I could in my day? So those are the questions we should do every day to make sure we are in the right path. So, and hopefully we will pick up the pace, right? And do, those things that Angelis asked us to do. It's, it's not that hard if we think about it. Help children. We can help children in many, many ways. Do not abandon the old and the sick. Where benefits are concerned, think of yourself blessed. Let's put others. Let's think of others above us. Apologize sincerely. Criticize no one. That's something that we really need to learn, right? We criticize a lot. Use faith and good judgment. Learn to sow that you might get a good harvest. So we always say here in our lectures, right? Plant the good seeds so we can harvest good things, right? Do not expect grapes from the thorn bush. That's another one that we hear a lot. If we plant apple seeds, we're not gonna get oranges, right? So, free yourself from the weight of excessive conventionalism. Cultivate simplicity. Talk as little as possible about yourself and your problems. Stimulate the noble qualities of your companions. Work for the good of all. Value time. Organize your work knowing that each day has its obligations. Do not be anxious. Serve everyone with the detachment. Be happy. That's one thing. God made us to be happy. So be grateful. Never impose your point of view. Remember that the world was not, I love this one. Remember that the world was not made only for you. No, we need each other. We need one another. So we need to help others. In every situation, there's going to be someone that needs help, but we also need help. So every time we stand our hand to help someone behind us, we can stand our hands in front of us because there's going to be someone that it's ahead of us that can grab our hand and hold us. So it's like a chain, So hopefully we will learn, and one day we will know God. For now, we can just tell it. Like I feel this wrong right now. So I thank you, everyone. And so this is where I did my research. There were much more. I heard a lot of lectures. And I tried to fix this and I couldn't. So we're going to go for the passing now.